Okay, we're recording. So let's do Lordstown Motors. So, just to give you a little synopsis, Lordstown Motors was like $31 less than a month ago.
Mm-hmm.
And now they're at like, or floating around $12, a little under, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And they were hit with a trifecta of problems. I don't know exactly what happened, but it was like the market started to go down initially. It looked like the EV market was taking a big hit, all the EV stocks, and then there was some investigation by the SEC, or right before that, there was a report that came out, the Hindenburg report, and these are short sellers that they put out information, like a in-depth look into a stock to see if there's any value, and they expose fraud. And they did this only to really one other stock, which was Nikola, but that had some fraud elements of fraud to it. I don't know how these reports get traction, but they did it to Lordstown Motors, which it just beat up on the whole on the stock price. So I figured we could take a look at the CEO, and then maybe we could pull up the Hindenburg people,
Mm-hmm.
see, and the SEC. We'll see if what you see in terms of let's pull up Lordstown Motors. So Stephen Burns. Okay, this is the guy, Stephen Burns. Can you see him
Uh-huh. Yeah. I
on my
think we
screen?
viewed him before.
Yes,
Yeah.
we sure did. Yeah. Okay, so well, what does he think about what's going on with Hindenburg? I think it was called the Hindenburg report. Let me see something.
He's actually staying very positive right now. He's saying we will get through this. This is one big mess. Um, the only way to go is up. So it feels like they've hit rock bottom. And yeah, that's what I'm getting, that they have hit rock bottom actually. If it could go wrong, it did go wrong for them. And the only way is up. So he's staying pretty positive about what's going on. They are under investigation. They've got people coming in. They're auditing their files. They're auditing their paperwork. They're auditing their finances. Do we know why they were being investigated? Do you know offhand?
Yeah, it was something he was bragging about, orders, like he had pre-orders
Mm-hmm.
on
And
the
it was
trucks.
it was fraudulent.
It was misleading to the point where the pre-orders were non-binding. So
Mm.
it was like a terminology, like they were pre-orders, but they were, you know, like
It's
paper orders, you know what I mean? They could have
yeah.
been
Well,
backed out, they could have shut it down.
the SEC are seeing it as fraud. That's what I got just now, like major fraud. Um, a lot of these pre-orders have been canceled, but they still considered them to be pre-orders, and it was fraudulent in order to convince people to buy the product. But you can't defraud people in that way, especially there was government organizations. This is why they got investigated. There was government organizations looking at buying some of their stock, their products. So
Hmm.
that's why they're under heavy scrutiny.
Okay. And um, what about the Hindenburg research? It's like investigative short sellers. Is he concerned with that report?
Very concerned, extremely
Oh,
concerned. um but he's just like, they're gonna ride. I know their name's Ride, but they're gonna ride it on out. And really, they have hit rock bottom. Are you lucky to still have a job? Very lucky. Has the board talked about getting rid of you? Yes, several times. So his job is on the line.
What about um he has a partnership. I think they have a partnership with GM, and
Mm-hmm.
GM also had a partnership with Nikola. And after the Hindenburg report, the research report, GM backed out. Is there any concern about GM backing out of this?
Major concern. They're going to have to find another company to join with them.
Oh, so GM is considering backing Ride out of Lordstown
Yes.
Motors.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
okay.
They are considering it. Whether it happens is another matter, but they are definitely considering it because they're afraid that this will ruin their reputation. GM struggling as
There
it
were
is. They're all struggling. All
hmm,
those car manufacturers are struggling right now. People are not buying like they were. So, GM doesn't need any more bad press.
hmm. Okay, so what about their production on the truck? Is that coming along? Are they having any issues? I think they're starting to roll out the prototype cars by September. Is that on track?
No, I feel that is halted.
Hmm.
I feel like
So they're not on
production
track for.
is suspended at the moment until this investigation is sorted out.
Hmm.
I feel like everything's on hold.
Does he believe that the stock price will go any lower? It just seems like it's at the lowest amount it could be.
It, it's possible. It's
Um,
possible it could go lower, but that
How are
he's
they?
staying very positive about it.
How are they doing otherwise? How are their finances? I mean, they have cash. Don't they have real estate? I think they have real estate given to them by GM. Is there anything that could jeopardize that? Anything that can jeopardize the real estate that they own? I think they have like a 700-acre plant. It's worth billions of dollars. Is there any concern that if GM backs out, or is there any way they can lose the real estate, the plant?
They can lose everything right now. Everything is on the line for them.
Hmm.
Everything is on the line. I'm actually getting a $4 price. I don't know if at some point it's going to dip down to $4, but I see I'm getting $4 thrown at me. And
Oh my God.
okay, so if it goes down to $4, they're going to start selling things off to make some more cash.
Okay, so I'm no expert, but I believe they have like $100 million or more. Probably going to be ridiculed for saying that because it's probably more, probably less. Plus, they have the real estate. So my assumption is that if they went bankrupt right now and they had to liquidate everything,
Mm-hmm.
it would at the the average cost of all those assets would exceed, their $12 share. So if it were worth $4, it's like, well, they're worth more on, they have like 100 million on paper. Is there any truth to that in terms of like does
Let's
he see it that way? Does this, from his position?
let's see. You're breaking up a little bit, but I think I got it. If you were to sell off, and let me find out, if he was to sell off all the assets, would you still be in debt? Yes, they would be in a lot of debt. They've borrowed a lot of money. They owe investors. The only way they would be able to pay all of that back is if they get the production line up and running again and they start pumping out orders for vehicles and selling vehicles. But right now they're in hot water.
Okay. All right. So Um, I don't know if we could
And
pull
he's
anyone
lucky he
up
still has a
from the
job.
SEC. I mean, they're not going to shut down tomorrow. I mean, there's like a
No.
year is going to go by and this is going to be old news. So, can we move up the timeline? Like, let's just say to January of 2022 and do a deep mind probe on them that way?
Yeah, they're still in business. Have things improved? Only a little bit. Not by much.
How's
I feel
production?
like they're going to have big orders and those orders are going to be canceled. Then they're going to have a lot of leftover stock. They're going to have to sell it for a lot less than what they intended to. I don't feel that the stock price will go up significantly. You know, it's going to take a lot to recover from this. It might shoot up and down occasionally, but it's going to take a lot to recover from this mishap.
So 6 months down, so January of 2022, they're still dealing with this. What about production on the vehicles? Are they churning out vehicles by this point?
No, because they're trying to sell the rest of their stock. So they made a lot of vehicles for some big orders that end up getting canceled in one way or another. So they've got to get rid of their overstock.
Oh, you talk about stock of their trucks, like they're not selling the
Yeah.
trucks?
Yeah, I'm
Oh,
sorry, not stock
okay.
of per share, but their inventory. Sorry.
So they've managed to produce trucks, or they're trying to pre-sale it.
They're trying to pre-sell. They're trying to get big orders.
Okay.
They're trying to get like companies. They're trying to get government contracts, things like that.
Okay. So what about um moving in like January 2022, has the investigation from the SEC concluded or is that still ongoing?
It's concluded at that point. It has concluded at that point. And let's see what the outcome. They were found to be, misleading.
Okay. And how much does that cost them?
I feel like they're going to get fined. Yeah. I feel like they're going to get fined for that. And they won't be able to pay all that money up front. So they're going to have to make payments on the fine.
Okay. So they're not producing trucks 6 months or 8 months from now. They're not producing trucks. He's working on the pre-orders. How's the stock price? How's the stock price?
Stock price for January 2022. It's pretty low. It's still relatively low. I would say it's in the teens.
And what about his relationship? What about their relationship with GM?
The relationship with GM.
Yeah, is that still
It's
ongoing? Are
still,
they
it's still
partnered?
ongoing. It is still
Okay,
ongoing. It's strained, but it's still ongoing. GM has the upper hand.
I see. And they're still at the plant. They're still okay.
Mm-hmm.
What about 1 year from now? What about April of 2022?
It's slightly better in April 2022, but not by much. I reckon it's going to take them a good 3 to 4 years to recover from this. They need some really big contracts coming in. They're trying to do electric trucks, and for the market they're trying to corner, people don't want that. They want companies to do mass orders of electric trucks, utility vehicles. That's where they believe that the income is, and it's just not there. The companies don't want the hassle of electric vehicles like that. It's too premature. You know, the mindset has not changed, especially when it comes to trucks.
I guess that makes sense. I think there was a lot of assumptions that we're moving forward in this EV world, you know, like gas powered engines are on its way out. What about 2 years from now? Let's just say April of 2022. How are things then?
23, April of 2023. There's a slight recovery. There's more of an adoptive, you know, people are getting to be a bit more accepting of the electric vehicles, the trucks, but not on the mass scale that they would like. As far as they're concerned, they want everybody to drive an electronic vehicle.
I mean, we have to be going in that direction, right? 5, 10 years down the line, no?
Yeah, but you're still burning coal. Like, I get the pollution aspect, but we're still burning coal.
To power it, you mean to charge the batteries?
Yeah, so if they could, I mean, the key is really for all of these electric, you know, vehicle makers, not just them, but all of them, if they were to find a way to supercharge these batteries without having to burn coal or, you know, by natural resources, then that would be a better approach. But you know, the big argument is, well, we're still burning coal. That's what I'm getting coming in from like the mass public who they're trying to sell their vehicles to.
Well, trying to think of other questions. It's just depressing to hear it because I'm so locked into this. How about the SEC investigation? Well,
they conclude that to be fraudulent, misleading.
Okay. And the Hindenburg Research Group. Let's see if I can pull up some individuals about that and see.
And what is this report about?
They're short sellers. They put out reports on companies that, you know, they're potentially frauding over investors and misleading investors. They look into it. Okay, a truck caught fire. The pre-orders that they said they're not binding. They're not real orders. There's production issues. But they just come out with a report of slanderizing, you know, a stock, so it shoots down in price. You know what I mean? So, did it to Nikola, and then it affected them. Like it affected Nikola. When the CEO Steve Burns, when he got in front of the camera, he didn't even really respond to it. His response was terrible. He just you know, he just looked like it's like it was better off if he never said anything at all.
Oh no.
So yeah, he was wearing like a hard hat and just, you know, haters will be haters, or I forget what he said, but it was silly. So
well, he's trying to remain very positive.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So he's so what about production? Are there any production issues? Is the plant working good, or are they producing a truck, or are they just strictly having issues selling it?
It's just the issue selling it mainly. Nobody really wants it. I mean, not on the scale that they want to sell it. Oh,
Oh, hello?
I don't know what happened there.
Yeah, my whole computer just shut off for a second.
Oh
Damn.
dear.
And it came right back. Let me see if we're
Oh,
still recording.
well, I think we've
Oh, we're still
exhausted
going.
that option.
Okay.
I really do. I think
For
definitely revisit it again, maybe in about 3 months. But they're in a pickle. They're in a bind. They're at the lowest point they could possibly be. Apart from, I keep getting, if they hit $4 a share, they're going to declare bankruptcy. I mean, they're at bankrupt point at $4.
so are and you're getting that $4 is on the table, like that it could go down to $4 a share.
I'm getting that if it does go to $4 per share, that's the limit that they have set. And that's where they kind of throw in the towel if it goes that low. They start selling off.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Well, that's good. That's
Mhm.
good for Lordstown. It's depressing, but you gotta take the
Yeah,
good with
but
the bad.
you
Okay.
can look at it in another way, which is, well, we viewed them a year or 2 years from now, they're still going to be in business. So even if it does go down that low, you can, get some stock and make a little bit of money if you're willing to hold
Mm-hmm.
on to it for a while.
What about is the stock ever gonna go back up to $30 a share
I
within the
think
next?
eventually, but not
Yeah.
anytime soon.
Okay. Yeah. Not within a year or so.
I
Okay.
no, I don't think anytime soon. Not that I can see right now.
Hmm. Okay. All right. All right. Let's do the next one. Let me stop recording.